What outlet are you with?
I'm actually shooting from town.
Oh, from the town? Just wondering.
Can I have everyone's attention, please? We'd like to start the ceremony.
It's been a while. You're doing good.
Sheriff's Deputy, post the colors, please. Two. We'll say the Pledge of Allegiance. Military can salute. Everybody else on cover. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The national anthem will be sung by the Roosevelt First Ladies group.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. For the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Outstanding. I'd like to invite Pastor DeBoer to come forward for the invocation. Uncover.
Let us be in an attitude of prayer. Most holy and gracious God, we gather this day in this place of civic expression to remember and celebrate those of your creation who sacrificially gave their lives for the life of our country, its people, and our way of life. We invite you to be present this day, blessing this time, to this sacred honor and duty, that we may not forget that peace, freedom, and justice have a cost. It is this cost that we honor today as we reflect upon the faces and the names of those who paid it for us. Make us always both mindful and grateful of the men and women who have died, protecting our country and advancing our freedoms. All of this we ask in your name. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. Cover. First, I'd like, you may sit. I'd like to acknowledge dignitaries in our gathering. Supervisor Eileen Rohr of Hyde Park. First time Congressman Faso from the Washington, D.C., 19th District. Councilwoman Emily Svensson, Councilman Ken Schneider and Joe Marine. Sheriff Anderson, first time, thank you for attending. Dan Kuffner, and if I missed anyone else in the audience, I'm sorry. I didn't quite see you, but welcome anyway. All right. Well, we missed the ringing of the bells at 11 o'clock, so we'll go past that. I would like to invite Ralph Alsterhout, World War II veteran, Battle of the Bulge veteran, to come up and ring the bell once for each name of fallen soldiers from all the wars, or from actually starting for the First World War. Revolutionary War, William Barber, Morgan Lewis. Civil War, Peter DeWitt, James Emmons, John Glover, Charles Lent, Willis Moore, David Mulfield, Samuel Mulfield, James Pauling, Burgess Smith, Abraham Stoutenberg, Jacobus Stoutenberg, Job Mulfield, James J. Stoutenberg, Edward Vale, Luke Stoutenberg, Peter Stoutenberg, Tobias Stoutenberg, William Stoutenberg, James Stoutenberg, Frederick Ohl. I stand corrected, that was the War of 1812, the First World War. William T. White, William G. Wicker, Charles Vale. World War II, Edward Brannan, Thomas Bircher, Marvin Brophy, Russell S. Chase, Raymond Collins, William Du Bois, John Hammond, Alfonso Gil Marino, Newton Hover, Herbert Ingerson, Donald Lister, Ellsworth Myers, Vincent M. Natisi, Frederick E. Roper, Joseph Sherrod, William Sonberg, William A. White, James Young. The Korean conflict, Richard D. Candio, William A. Wood. Vietnam, David Cardinal, John Cobe, Earl Menard, Frederick Trani Jr. Persian Gulf, Daniel McGuire, Brian Tierney, Christopher Wittenberg, Joseph W. Green, Sandra Benaway, Scott Fulton, Thomas W. Oppenberg, Sean Martin. They gave their all that we might all enjoy freedom. Therefore, let us remember them this Memorial Day and all the days to come. Thank you, Ralph. I will assist Supervisor Rohr in placing the town wreath. Al, would you be able to walk the wreath up? We have Al Genovese, World War II veteran from the Pacific. Help me with the wreath. Thank you, Al. Firing squad will fire 3 volleys. Miss Amelia McNamara from Roosevelt High School will play taps. Everybody stand and uncover. Cover and be seated, please. I'd like to invite Hyde Park Town Supervisor Aileen Rohr to say a few words to the audience.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, everyone, and it's my honor and pleasure to be here to honor those who have given their lives for our wonderful and amazing country. Whoops. Oh. It's really such a gift for me to be the town supervisor of this amazing community of Hyde Park residents and true community members. And it's so touching to have a moment just to think and reflect on what brings us together and what makes us special and what makes us Americans. And it is the gift of love and community and pride that we feel in America. And so I just want to thank every single veteran out there and those that are not, especially my dad who just recently passed. It's really to hear taps and to be thinking about the gift that you have all given us. It's just really touching and amazing. So I appreciate all that Mike does for us and the American Legion in bringing our community together and allowing us to really focus on what brings on those things that we share and that make us truly American.
Thank you, Supervisor Rohr. I'd like to invite Dan Kuffner up to read several messages, one from the governor, one from the USS Roosevelt, and one from the former commander of the USS Roosevelt. Dan Kuffner was initially responsible to get the USS Roosevelt dedicated to our county, so this is the man that should read this stuff.
Thank you, Mike. Good morning, all. I have a proclamation from the Executive Chamber. Whereas, New York is proud of the men and women who have served our country with selfless devotion to preserve the freedom of Americans and that of people throughout the world. And whereas, each year in May, Americans pause to observe Memorial Day, or Decoration Day as it was originally known, set aside to remember with dignity and reverence the many patriotic individuals who throughout various conflicts over the centuries made the ultimate sacrifice in service to our nation. And whereas, now a federal holiday, Memorial Day began as a caring gesture of honor and remembrance for those who lost their lives in battle, first initiated in the spring of 1866 with New Yorkers in the upstate community of Waterloo, placing wildflowers on the graves of fallen soldiers of the Civil War who fought for the Union and the Confederacy alike. And whereas, as we honor our nation's war heroes this Memorial Day, we especially remember the more than 6,800 armed forces of the United States who died on the battlefield or serving in other capacities of support for our military missions in Iraq and Afghanistan, including more than 600 New Yorkers who willingly gave their lives in service to our country and whose names have been added to America's honor roll of patriots. And whereas, on this Memorial Day, as we mourn all those who were lost, we give thanks for those who were spared and able to return home to their families and loved ones. And we pray for the safety of those who remain ever vigilant as peacekeepers against threats to our freedom, our way of life, and the safety and security of our homeland. And whereas, in honoring our fallen heroes, we find inspiration in those men and women who gave their lives for us and for the noble causes of freedom and peace, as through their sacrifices they have preserved a nation that shines as a symbol of hope for people and countries worldwide. Now, therefore, I, Andrew M. Cuomo, Governor of the State of New York, do hereby proclaim May 28, 2018 as Memorial Day in the state of New York, and encourage all citizens to preserve the tradition of remembering those who died in service of our nation and honoring those veterans who are still with us. Signed, Mario Cuomo. I'm going to present that proclamation to Supervisor Rohr. I have the distinct pleasure and honor of reading a message to you from Commander Amy Jones. She is the current commanding officer of the USS Roosevelt DDG-80. Memorial Day recognizes the impact of so many great Americans who gave the ultimate sacrifice while serving in the U.S. military. Throughout history, Franklin D. Roosevelt has been recognized as, quote, the greatest American friend we have ever known, and the greatest champion of freedom who has ever brought help and comfort from the New World to the Old, end quote, by Sir Winston Churchill. His contribution to our country and armed forces cannot be measured. FDR's fighting spirit of democracy and commitment to freedom has touched the lives of countless Americans, including those who have passed while serving in the U.S. military. The legacy of Eleanor and Franklin D. Roosevelt continues to inspire several lives, especially the crew of the USS Roosevelt DDG-80. The 30th ship of the Arleigh Burke class, named the USS Roosevelt DDG-80, continues to fight to secure and maintain FDR's famous 4 freedoms for people everywhere. Based out of Mayport, Florida, the wonderful communities of Dutchess County and Hyde Park, New York, have adopted our ship and crew. Roosevelt sailors are extremely hardworking and grateful for all the contributions made to the crew. Support for the nation's members of the armed forces shows that Eleanor and Franklin D. Roosevelt's legacy continues to live on. As we recognize this legacy on Memorial Day, we pause to reflect on those who have made the ultimate sacrifice for a mission bigger than themselves. The USS Roosevelt DDG-80 appreciates the contributions of all who have gone before and will continue to fight to protect freedom and democracy. Very respectfully, A.E. Jones, Commander, U.S. Navy, Commanding Officer, U.S. Roosevelt, DDG-80. As a sidebar, Commander Jones is the first female commander of the USS Roosevelt. I have a third and very special note to read to you. It comes from Captain Rob Chadwick, the Commandant of Shipmen of the U.S. Naval Academy. Captain Chadwick was the captain of the USS Roosevelt when she was officially adopted by the Dutchess County Legislature in 2008. To my Hyde Park friends, greetings from Annapolis, Maryland. I find it hard to believe that it has been 8 years since I joined you for Memorial Day as the commanding officer of the USS Roosevelt. I will never forget the hospitality and patriotism that I experienced during that weekend. I also remain very grateful for continued support of the ship that will always hold a very special place in my heart. In my current role as Commandant of Midshipmen at the U.S. Naval Academy, I get to play a very rewarding role in developing the next generation of leaders for our Navy and Marine Corps. The sailors of Roosevelt remain in my mind and guide my task here to produce leaders that sailors like them ultimately deserve. On this Memorial Day, when we honor all those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the defense of their nation, I certainly know firsthand that Hyde Park celebrates Memorial Day with patriotism, camaraderie, and community in a fashion that all cities and towns should aspire to. I wish you all the best and hope to get the opportunity to return soon. All the best, Captain Rob Chadwick, Commandant of the Midshipmen, U.S. Naval Academy. Ladies and gentlemen, happy Memorial Day, and thank you so much for all of your service.
Thank you, Dan. We have a slight change of schedule here. We are honored to have Congressman Faso from the 19th District of New York. He would like to say a few words. Congressman, would you please step up?
Good morning, everyone. It's still morning, another 6 minutes. Mike, thank you very much, and thank the Legion for this great and contemplative ceremony, and thank you to the town of Hyde Park, Supervisor Rohr, and the town board for the wonderful parade. That was terrific. And made all the better by the Dutchess County Sheriff's Department Honor Guard who came marching. Thank you, Sheriff Anderson. I just wanted to say that this is a day where we remember. It's a day where we contemplate. It's a day where we think about the sacrifice of those who gave their lives in the defense of our freedom. And as we all know, it's simplistic, but it's not trite to say that freedom is not free. Those who set forth, left their families, left their businesses, left their farms to serve our country, and who never came back, this is their day for us to remember. And it is truly our obligation, indeed our duty as citizens, to make sure that our children and our grandchildren understand the meaning of this day. It's not a day for more shopping. It's not just another day off. It's a day where we hopefully give the message and transmit the message to the future generations as to the sacrifices that took place all the way back to our revolution. When you think of the names that were read off here, just from the Civil War, from Hyde Park, it's quite astonishing. So we give thanks to their memory, we bless their families, we think of them, we remember that they are responsible. On their shoulders we stand, and we are able to enjoy the freedoms that we have as Americans: freedom of religion, freedom of speech, all the personal and economic liberties that we enjoy in this nation. They're all guaranteed in our Constitution, but they were purchased over and over again by those who have served and those who have fallen. God bless the veterans who are here, our two distinguished veterans from World War II. God bless the memories of the fallen, and God bless America.
Thank you, Congressman. Our next speaker is Sheriff Anderson. Sheriff Anderson was born and raised in Paulding, New York. He graduated from Paulding High School in '66, after which he attended Ulster Community College and Chapman College in California. Sheriff Anderson was elected mayor of the village of Paulding in 1983 and held that office for 8 years. He's past chairman of the Village of Paulding GOP, presently a member of the Dutchess County GOP Executive Committee, and is on the executive board of the New York State Sheriff's Association. Sheriff Anderson is an active member in many organizations, which include the Poughkeepsie Elks, Lodge 275, Fraternal Order of Police, Dutchess Community College Foundation Board, FBI National Academy, YMCA Board of Directors of the Harlem Valley, and the Paulding Fire Department. Plus, there's about 6 more lines of things that he belongs to. I'm going to sort of skip over a little bit. Sheriff Anderson has begun his law enforcement career in 1970 when he was appointed as deputy sheriff with the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office. I'm going to skip a little bit more here. He was appointed under sheriff in 1983 and was responsible for overseeing the daily operations of the entire complete sheriff's office. His first elected sheriff of Dutchess County in 1999. Sheriff Anderson successfully completed his first 4-year term of office and won re-election as sheriff in 2003, 2007, 2011, and 2016. The start of Sheriff Anderson's 4th term in January 2012 was highlighted by him being sworn in by a longtime friend and actor James Earl Jones, Darth Vader, as well as the attendance of several dignitaries, including U.S. Senator Charles Schumer and U.S. Representative Nan Hayworth. After impeccable 47 years, which the police, Dutchess County Police Force was formed in 1717. Today includes 500 employees who provide comprehensive services to the population of 290,000 over 816 square miles. I have another 4 pages of awards and recognitions for Sheriff Anderson, which I'm not going to read because he has one recognized super sheriff of the state. But without further babbling up here, I would like to invite Sheriff Anderson up to say a few words.
You didn't. Thank you, Mike. Supervisor, thank you for being here. Dan, it's been a long time. Of course, our Congressman John Faso, great guy. To all our vets, thank you. Thank you for allowing all of us to be here. Today is a day of honor and respect for the men and women of our armed forces. They're the ones that gave us freedom of speech. They're the ones that gave us independence, our pride. They gave us our schools, our churches. They gave us a chance to grow up and be whatever we want to be. These are the men and women that did this. The men and women that are still fighting for us. They've given us the ability to think freely. One thing I would like you to listen to. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. That says it all. That says what our vets have done for us. I'm wearing a shirt today that was given to me by one of my friends, and on the back of it, it says, "In memory of many, in honor of all." And it has the American flag on the front of it. I am very proud to be here, and I don't want to take up a lot of your time, because today is a special day for all of us. First thing I want to do is thank the men and women of the Dutchess County Sheriff's Office for being here with me. I'm very proud and honored to be the sheriff of Dutchess County. I'm proud and honored to be here today. I would like to read you something. I would like you to think about the words. First, I would like my sergeant to bring the colors up front. Ladies and gentlemen, please listen. My name is Old Glory. I fly atop the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I am majestically over institutions of learning. I stand guard with power in the world. Look up, do you see me? I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I'm confident. Sometimes I'm arrogant, but I am very proud. When I'm flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher. My colors are a little truer. I bow to no one. I'm recognized all over the world. I'm worshiped. I'm saluted. I'm loved. I'm revered. I'm respected. And sometimes I'm even feared. I've fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. I was flown at Valley Forge, Gettysburg, San Juan, the trenches of France, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Korea, Saigon, Vietnam, Desert Storm, Afghanistan, Iraq, Iran, 9/11. Did you see me? I was there for you. I stood alone, but I was there. I led my troops. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my soldiers cheered, and I was proud. I've been burned, torn, and trampled on in streets of countries that I've helped set free. That doesn't hurt, because I'm invincible. I've been burned, soiled, torn, trampled on in the streets of our country, whom I've served in battle. It hurts, but I'll overcome, because I am very strong. I've slipped the bounds of earth and stood watch over uncharted areas, frontiers of space, from my vantage point on the moon. I've borne silent witness to America's finest hours, but my finest hours are yet to come. When I'm torn into strips and used as bandages for the wounded comrades on the battlefield, when I'm flown at half-mast to honor my soldiers, or when I lie in the trembling arms of a grieving parent at the grave of his falling son or daughter, I'm proud. Because you see, ladies and gentlemen, I am the flag of the United States of America. God bless you all. closing, have a great day. Remember our colors. Remember to come together. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Take the young, the old, be there for them. There's a lot of our vets that are out there that have no one. It only takes a minute to make a phone call, to drop a card, to shake a hand. But the main thing to remember is we are all part of the United States of America, and these men and women gave it to us. Thank you very much, and have a great day.
Thank you, Sheriff Henderson. I'd like to invite Supervisor Rohr to the podium again for the dedication of the new Veterans Plaque on the back of the center stone here. Supervisor Rohr.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, it's wonderful again to be up here. About 3 years ago, it was brought to our attention that a number of names were omitted from the original effort to honor our wonderful veterans. And so we embarked on a project, so I'd like to ask David Ray to join me up here to really honor those people and recognize them that we omitted. And so in a 3-year effort, we publicized it, we put it in the papers, we put it on Facebook, we reached out to people and asked them to please submit their name if they had been a resident of Hyde Park when they entered service during a time of conflict. So I'm really proud to say that we were able to generate the funds, and thank you Hyde Park taxpayers for doing that, to create this lovely plaque which we have on the center memorial here. And I hope that everyone will take a look. And if there's any veterans that are here today whose names are on this plaque, I'd love to ask them up so that they could be the first to look. I know I spoke with Mr. Kuklinski just a few minutes ago. And so if there's anyone else here, maybe they could just join us in the back while we just take a look at the new veterans. And thank you. And it turns out that your brother was a dear friend of mine, and so it's really my honor to be able to thank you for your service and for all you did for our country and for every veteran out there. So can we just bear with us while we take a look? Sure. Yeah.
One thing I did not mention earlier in the program, I feel very bad about. We do have a POW that we got accounted for in all the service that we have fought. And all American agents, POWMIAs that have never been accounted for. Pastor Gabor, would you please come up and do the benediction?
Friends, go forward this day as grateful recipients entrusted with the stewardship of this great nation that others have defended with their lives. Go forward to live in the fullness of our human potential, to guarantee peace, to promote justice and freedom in all that you do. Go, honoring the legacy of those who have gone before us, that our world might be more perfected by your service, even as it has been by theirs. And know that even as you do, the fullness of God goes forward with you in strength and wisdom and power. In God's name, amen.
Thank you, Pastor Gabor. Is the vocalist from the high school still here? No. We usually finish the program with God Bless America. If anybody feels brave enough to lead us off, we'd love to hear it. Otherwise, we're going to have to skip that. All right, this basically ends our ceremony for today. We'd like to tell you that there's going to be a wreath ceremony at the FDR Roosevelt National Site at 1:30. If you feel that you would like to attend that, everybody is welcome, and it's a very nice ceremony. We have poppies here. One of our Legionnaires has a can of poppies. If you would like a poppy to remember the fallen veterans, please come up and we'll be happy to give you a poppy. Otherwise, thank you all for coming. Thank you to the Sheriff's Department and your members here. And thank you, Sheriff Anderson. Dismissed.
Thank you. Call my office tomorrow morning. Okay, thanks.